This
Now,
conference will now be recorded.
so to open this organization wide defaults, okay, you have to type sharing settings. Okay, then you have all the settings for basically every single object. Right now it is all objects. So let's say I want to specifically do for account. So for account, you can see we have this OWD. Okay, here organization wide default means this will be considered across the whole organization right now, which is default access. Okay, forget about the external access right now. Then you also have these uh, sharing rules here. Hmm? These are nothing but we can create different rules. We'll talk about this later as well, but right now let me just click on this all objects here. Okay, so we have different options here. We have private, then public read only, public read write, and public read write and transfer. So what these four parameters actually mean? So let's talk about the private first. So on this private, let's say we have a user. Okay, so record 1 minute. So this record will be accessed by the user itself. No other user will be able to access a record. Okay, record will be accessed only by the user who created it. Okay, so let's say here if Ganesh is creating one account record. Okay, here let's see if I keep this private. If Ganesh is creating one record, then he will be able to access only, otherwise not. Okay, so Mohsin or Soumya, you guys will not be able to access the record created by Ganesh if it's private. Okay, then you have also here read public read only. So what is this public read only? So you have public. Okay, inside you have first read only. So if I choose this option, then anyone who any user will be able to see the record. Okay, he will not be able to modify it. Okay, or edit it. So this is the public read only. Then you have public read write. So here obviously he will be able to access here only read for all users. And now read plus write, here you can actually edit it also. Okay, now you must be wondering now why there is this read write and slash transfer also. Okay, this is the fourth option. Why? Now if you see, this is a lead object. Okay, so ideally you can transfer the ownership of the record also. Okay, so you can transfer the ownership of the record. That is where we can give this read write and transfer also. Okay, so this is one thing. Now these are different access based on different, if you see, control by parent here. So if let's say if there is a master detail relationship, then you will have this control by parent also. Okay, transfer will be for transferring the record ownership. For example, you have lead. Okay, then also you have fourth one, controlled by parent. So this is in case of master detail relationship. So here whatever the what are the security settings you have for the master, that will be applied to the detail. Okay, so that's how it is going to work. So pretty much this is what you need to understand, and this is an interview question, by the way. They will ask you that you want to give access to you want to restrict access for multiple users. Okay, you have in organization, you have users, and all these users only should be able to access their own records. Okay, at the same time they should be also there should be also one more condition, and that condition is that if there is a manager. Okay, and this manager has 1 2 3 employees. Okay, and all the records which are created by these employees should be able to access, this manager should be able to access all these records. Okay, so how do you do that? So we actually have to keep this private. Okay, but if you see this grant access using hierarchies, so this option should be basically enabled by default. Okay, now here you can see this is grayed out. Okay, you cannot edit this. Can anyone tell me like why it is grayed out and why this dealer or hospital are not grayed out here? I can actually change this. Any idea? Hmm? What could be the reason why all these records, all these objects have grayed out here? Okay, this is grant access using hierarchies. So let's say you have a role. Okay, this is again role of manager and the role of an employee. Okay, so any idea, guys, why this dealer and hospital have this access here? Any guesses?
They are custom objects.
Exactly. Well, these are basically custom objects. There is a reason we can actually manage this because we did not set any hierarchy at the moment on these objects. Okay, this is the reason you have to give access. Okay, and apart from this, okay, these are nothing but OWD settings. Okay, and inside this apart from this OW settings, if you see, we have different sharing rules. Okay, now comes the picture about sharing rules. Okay, now they are going to ask you again a different question that you have you have users. Okay, you have a few kinds of user. For example, you have same users with same profiles. Okay, and you have kept this access as private. Hmm. You have kept access private, but still you want to share some data based on some criteria. Okay, for example, there is account. Okay, and I want to account I have kept private, the setting for account. Obviously every user will not have access to record created by another user. Okay, understood till now, guys? If I keep this private access level, only the user who created that record will be able to access that record, right? So here, if Mohsin creates account, Ganesh or Soumya will not be able to access it. Understood till now? If I keep this as private.
Yes.
Okay, now
Yes,
Yes.
right.
what if I want that record to be accessed by Soumya or Ganesh on particular condition? What I can do? So in that case, we can create a sharing rule. For example, if I click on this new sharing rule here, okay, you give any label here. Okay, so I give taste. Okay, whatever it is. Now you see, there is these are the two criteria here. Okay, there is the rule type based on record owner or based on criteria. This is again, guys, interview question. Huge interview question is sharing rules. Okay, what are the types? This is a must asked question, by the way. In every single interview that I have given right now, they have asked me this. What are the sharing rules? Okay, what is the meaning of sharing rules? What is OWD? And what are the different types of sharing rules? So there are two types based on record owner and based on criteria. Okay, so if I select this record owner, first of all, you will see we have different groups, roles and subordinates. Okay, so first of all, let me open roles here. Okay, we have something called roles. Okay, so now if you see, we have in organization we have different types of roles. For example, here there is a CEO, and if I add here role, let's say manager. Okay, and reports to CEO. If I click save here. Okay, now if I go again back to the role here. Okay, and this is basically my manager is here. Now inside my manager, okay, there is nothing here. If I click on this add role here, let's say I type employee. And if I click save here. Okay, now this guy is reports to this guy is reporting to manager. Now I can assign this user basically to this role. So I want to search any user. Okay, so I can actually search a user and I can assign this. Now if I go into this role here, okay, you will see my the first organization, then CEO. Inside CEO there is manager and there is employee here. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. So if I give this option role here. Okay, so select role. So all the let me rephrase. Okay, because we just created this. So if I select here role. Okay, and there should be employee here. So all the accounts owned by members of role, which is employee, should be shared with role. Let's say VP of marketing. Okay, here. So we can actually share all the records which are owned by a particular role to another role. Then you have also public groups. Okay, There's roles and subordinates also. Okay, so you can have subordinates again. Here I think pretty much this is hierarchical. So all the let's say if I select manager, so this employee will be getting by default if I select the subordinates there. Okay, and public groups, you guys know what is a group. In Salesforce you can actually create some public groups. This is just like creating a group on Facebook, right? Or Instagram or WhatsApp group based, like let's say WhatsApp group. So you are creating a group on WhatsApp. I just type test here, I'm gonna click save. Okay, if I go inside this group, you can see all users. Okay, view group members as well. Now if I go edit option here, you will see users, and with this users I can basically add this. For example, here I'm adding this two users. I'm going to click save button. Okay, so you can see we have all these two users right now as a part of this group. So I can basically, what I can do is I can create multiple groups. Okay, and I can assign the role, assign this record sharing criteria, that okay, I have these different groups. Let me just rephrase again because we just created. Okay, so you'll see here test group is here. So I can assign, I can basically share this whatever the members we have. So let's say this group has these two members. So Rohit Kumar Asra here. If this guy is basically creating a record, okay, that record I can actually share with all these criteria. So let's say I can share this record with this employee who has the role. So any user which has this employee role will access this account record which are created by this test public group members. Understood, guys? Hmm? Again, if you see opportunity and case and contract access, these are nothing but related records. Okay, with account. So you also have this option here that we should be giving read only, private, again read, write, all this access we can give. Okay, so if I go into, let's say, custom object we have, right? If I scroll down here, we have dealer. If I go here, you will see only one access level here, read and write. And because we did not have any master detail relationship here again. Okay, so here we have these three criteria: public groups, roles and subordinates. Now this is the first rule type. Any doubt here, guys? Understood? Soumya, Mohsin, Ganesh, do you guys understand what is this
Yes.
sharing rule? Very, very important. Okay, this is the interview question. Now second is based on criteria. Okay, now what is based on criteria? Let's say you have account. Okay, right now it is dealer. So here I can choose any field here, and I can basically apply my condition. Let's say this dealer name. Okay, if this dealer name contains or not equals to whatever it is, okay, contains, let's say here Honda, then this will be true. Okay, and this I want to share with public groups, roles or subordinates. Okay, so every single time this select the users to share with, this will be the same. But here if you see the based on criteria, your uh, so what you're doing basically here, okay, you have user who creates a record, and user who needs access basically. Okay, user who needs access, so you are basically transferring the access from one user to another user. Okay, and you have two options here. First is based on the role, okay, or public groups, and second is based on the record itself. Okay, in this record, let's say there is a dealer name, that is Honda. So all the records, irrespective of their users, which contain dealer name Honda, this public group or role will be able to access. Understood, guys? I don't know why this is Chinese here.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir, understood.
so basically here you can select this public groups roles. Okay, so here let's say if I select this employee, so any record, any dealer record which has a dealer name Honda, or let's say there is a type. Okay, so you have different types also. Let's see what are the different types. Let's say is a premium one. Okay, if I select the premium one, then this record will be able to access by this any role that I'm giving right now. Okay, so this is how this sharing rule works. Understood, guys? So you can select also this dealer here, and you will find you have sharing rules. Okay,
Okay.
Hmm? And then
Yes.
again you have profiles. Now you must be thinking that we also in profile you have this view all data and modify all data also, right? So if you select this view all data, you are going to override these OWD and sharing rules. Okay, so in profile, okay, this is again guys interview question by the way. In profile, if I open a profile right now, okay, we created some custom admin there. Okay, this custom system admin we created na, this one. So we created this custom system admin here, and if I scroll down, okay, you will see for this dealer we have this view all modify all option selected. So what this means that any user which has this profile, okay, this custom system admin profile, where you have view all and modify all for this object, all the records of this object this user will be able to read and as well as modify or edit them. Okay, so this will override all these organization wide defaults. So if you keep this private, okay, here, so if you keep this private, then only that particular user will be able to access it, right, according to this or OWD setting. But if you have this view all, that means this user will be able to access irrespective if you keep this private here, even for the sharing rules. So this is what profiles that override dealer sharing. Understood? So this is basically is going to override. So in inter, they're going to ask a question. So if you keep this OWD as private, okay, but still that user is able to access other users records, even if you keep this private. Okay, they had asked me this question by the way, and this is a very tricky question. So this user is still able to access other users record, but you keep this OWD settings as private, then why that user is able to access the records? The simple answer is in profile, for that particular object there must be this view all or modify all. Okay, these options are basically enabled. This is the reason that user is able to access. If you don't want that user to access, then you have to basically remove this option or deselect this check boxes here. Okay, so very important question by the way. We definitely you guys definitely explore this, read online. Okay, so this is one thing. Hmm. So we have covered, let me open the Salesforce security model. So we have actually covered object level security through profiles, okay, then permission set and permission set groups. Now what is the permission set groups? If I open here permission set groups, I explained permission set, right? Permission set is nothing but extension of profile there, okay. You can add multiple permission sets to any user. So permission set group is like, let's say you have, okay, you have one, two, three, four, five permission sets. Now all these permission sets have different access. Okay, some have access to a record that is needed. Now there is a user. Okay, there are, let's say, five users who need all of these permission sets. Okay, now are you going to assign these five permission set individually every single time? No. What you can do is you can actually create one group of all these permission sets, and you can assign this group to all these five users. Okay, so it is nothing but you can actually create a permission set. Okay, let's see if I go here. Hmm, and you will see manage assignments here. Okay, so here actually you can assign all the users. So let's say I select this user now. Okay, assign this. Now I want to go back. Basically, how do I go back here? I cannot go back, huh? This is interesting. I go into permission set groups, go into test here. Okay, permission sets in permission group. So this is where you actually add. Okay, first of all I assign my permission set. Now you have these many permission sets. So right now if I go into user, okay, let's see, in my here you will see permissions assignments and permission set group assignments is one here. So based on this, okay, if I select all these permission sets here, add this, okay, continue, available licenses and everything will be here, okay, and if I just click done, okay, refresh this, okay, you will see permission set license assignments is updated here. So all licenses which are needed, that are automatically present here. So I did not have to create multiple permission sets, and I did not have to assign multiple permission sets here. Basically, I just assigned one permission set group. Okay, so you basically need this group as well, permission set group. Okay, we can actually create package this as well. And this field level security. So field level security again, guys, we can manage through profile and permission set. They are going to ask in interview that how can you manage field level security. So field level security can only be managed through profile and permission set. Okay, understood?
Yes, Rohit.
Now again, there is a record level security. So this record level security you can manage to profile permission sets as well as majority is profile, but again you have a rules as well. Okay, so difference between roles and profiles, that in role you can manage only record level, but through profile you can manage a record, object level, field level settings as well, and as well as you can manage the create, read, edit and delete, as well as modify all and view all these settings you can manage through your profile. But through roles you can only manage your record level security with specifically hierarchical record level security. Okay, so which I already explained what is hierarchy, manager and employee. Just remember all this always. Okay, and you have also something called manual sharing. So if I go, let me go here. Okay, I have account here, I have Airtel account. Okay, now if I click here, there is something called sharing. Okay, so if I click on this sharing, okay, here I can search any user. So let's say here I select this system. This is created by this only. Let's see, system or integration user is here. Okay, so I can give him access also, read, write, case access, opportunity access. So I can give all this access. This is called manual sharing. So this will be only shared, okay, with this user only. Now you have also user, public group, role and subordinate, same thing that we had in sharing settings, but here it is based on individual record, not on the criteria. Okay, so you have this manual sharing also here. Okay, then you have sharing rules which I already explained, then role hierarchy, and then organization wide defaults. Okay, so this is how the visibility opens up. Hmm. So this already explained, role hierarchy also I explained, sharing rules also I explained. Okay, then you have manual sharing which I just explained. Okay, from here you can just share. So guys, this is very important module. Okay, like they are going to ask you lots of question on this sharing settings, all this um, basically they are going to ask you lots of access level settings. Again, there is apex classes, so you also need to give securities to apex classes. For example, here, okay, these are available profiles, so only these profiles will be able to access those particular apex classes. Okay, and execute the code. So very important. I have already shared this link, but I'll share this link again in the chat. Hmm? Okay, so any doubt guys till now? Any doubt with this security settings in Salesforce? Anything you
No.
did not understand? Okay, so in short, if I want to summarize, we have profiles, okay, which give access to object, okay, field as well as your record. Okay, so if you have access, you definitely have access to record. Then you have permission sets. Okay, you have same access, basically it's pretty much same. Then you have roles, okay, and hierarchy. You have record level access. Hmm? Then you have OWD, or I will say sharing settings. Inside sharing settings, you have OWD and you have sharing rules. Okay, this is one thing you have. Then you have manual sharing. Okay, this is nothing but record based. Okay, here also uh, this is nothing but record based only. Okay, record based. And then you also have Apex classes. Okay, here also you have to give based on profile. Hmm. Now inside Apex also, Apex code, when you write Apex code, you actually write, public class, and then you write, right. Let's say if I open, we'll talk about this in development side. Okay, so if I create test sample class, okay, you have public class and test sample class, what are the name. Okay, so here you can actually write with sharing and without sharing. Okay, you have with sharing and then you have without sharing. So what this includes, if I go into Apex code, I have with and without sharing. So this without sharing, with sharing, we'll see this in development side. Okay, this means whatever the socle you are going to write here, or whatever the access that you are going to get for the particular record, with sharing you will get access. Without sharing, basically here it will apply all the security settings for the profile, OWD, and everything. And without sharing, if you use this, okay, so here, irrespective of all the settings, all the profiles, or whatever it is, you will be able to access all the data. And here your security will be applied. Okay, so what are the security settings? Let's say you have profile who doesn't have access to account object, and you are trying to create an account object through the profile, through the user. Okay, so you basically created one integration user. Okay, and you want to execute the code by that user. So this will not work in case of with sharing, but in case of without sharing, this will work. He will be able to create the account object. Okay, so we'll talk about this in development side, but guys, this is very very important. Okay, profiles, permission sets, and inside permission sets you can also add permission set groups as well. Okay, so this is nothing but again extension. Then you have roles here, then you have sharing settings. Okay, in sharing settings you have OWD, sharing rules, manual sharing, Apex class, security here. Okay, so inside security you have to basically give access to the profiles. Understood, guy? It's a very simple, straightforward. Okay, so guys, go through this, you guys read this. Okay, you can experiment with this sharing settings, OWD, specifically you create two users and you try to give access. You try to give access based on these two criteria again. Okay, the criteria as well as um, based on the owner as well. Okay. Hmm? Okay, guys, so that's it for today. We will